Good evening, everybody. David Paul with you in the KHOU 11 Weather Center. It is Tuesday evening. It is July the 8th, and what you're looking at is not happening right now. This is what it looked like last year on June 28th as Tropical Storm Beryl got named. This was the day Beryl became a named tropical storm last year on June 28th. This is the one that ended up hitting us as we went into July the 8th as a Cat 1 hurricane and knocked out power to, I think at one point, almost 3 million homes and businesses. And of course, that was right on the heels of the May derecho that had knocked out power to more than 1 million folks across the heart of Houston and Southeast Texas. So we were really storm-weary folks by the time Houston got into the middle part of July, having had 2 big windstorms come in. Let's talk about Beryl and its lifespan. Just to look back again, it became a tropical storm, got named on June 28th, 2024. It began life as a tropical wave that came off the west coast of Africa, got its act together, and right there became a tropical storm. Now, this one did set one record in particular that may stand for quite a while. Earliest Cat 5 on record in the Atlantic Basin. It was on July the 1st, 2024, that Beryl became a Cat 5 here in the Eastern Caribbean. Again, that's the earliest date that we've ever known of, as long as we've been keeping records going back to the mid to late 1800s, of a Cat 5 on July the 1st. So that is a record that may stand for quite a while. It's tough to get a Cat 5 going that early in the season, but in this season we began, especially in the Caribbean, with very warm water, and that added plenty of energy to it. We also had perfect upper level winds at that point here, had perfect outflow on the storm, and so it became a Cat 5. It then weakened. Cat 4, Cat 3 made landfall across the Yucatan. That happened on July the 5th. And at that point, everybody in the Gulf, but especially here in Texas, we're watching this like a hawk. We had several computer models that were sending the storm eventually into northern Mexico or deep South Texas. And then there were some that were bending it further up the coast. And of course, it ended up happening that the storm did bend up the coast and come into Houston. It weakened to a tropical storm as it emerged off the Yucatan, then got its act together and became a moderately strength Cat 1 with max sustained winds at 80 to 85 miles an hour as it made landfall across Brazoria County as a Cat 1. Then it moved due north, and so the strongest winds on the right-hand side of the storm came right through the heart of Houston and Harris County. And again, this ended up knocking out power to more millions of us as it continued on across and then up into East Texas in the evening of July the 8th. Just a couple of notes on Beryl. Peak wind gust, 97 miles an hour. That was the strongest measured wind gust. That was in Matagorda County. Again, by the time it was all said and done, 2.7 million homes and businesses were without power. And of course, all this happening right on the heels of the May derecho, the 16th of May. That windstorm came right down I-10 and 290 in from the west-northwest and knocked out power to more than 1 million of us. We had just recovered from that, and then Beryl came in. What really is one of the biggest takeaways from this for me is that it had been a wet spring and a wet start to May and June. So when these windstorms came in, the trees weren't snapped. They literally were uprooted. The roots just came right out of the ground as the ground was just so soupy that the roots couldn't hold the trees down. So we had all those trees down. And it just exposes how vulnerable our electrical grid is, because so much of it is above ground and exposed to the elements. So where are we now in 2025? Actually, we're ahead of where we were last year. We've already had Andrea, Barry, and Chantal. At this point last year, we had Barry making landfall. We had not had Chantal. So we've had 3 named storms. They've all been quite weak systems and short-lived systems, but they did reach tropical storm force strength nonetheless. So Dexter, Aaron, Ferdinand are the next 3 on the list. And as we look out here right now, we see nothing. Gulf of Mexico is quiet, nothing looking like it's about to brew into a tropical system of any kind. We have an upper level low over the northwest Caribbean Sea, producing scattered showers and thunder over Cuba, but nothing tropical getting going. The Bahamas, scattered showers, but again, nothing organized tropical-wise. And in the open Atlantic, no development expected for the next 7 days. One of the reasons there's no development out here is we've got lots of dust. Yet another plume is just hanging out here over the open Atlantic right now. There's another big plume of dust about to be kicked off the west coast of Africa. These are kicked off by thunderstorms, and the wind gets kicked out ahead of the thunderstorms, and it picks the dust up and carries it in the mid-levels across the Atlantic Ocean. And in fact, there is the remnant of another big plume sitting over the southern Gulf right there, right now. And that is going to make it into Houston and southeast Texas. So as we head into Wednesday night, Thursday, and Friday, we get a plume of thick dust coming in here. Now, it may lower the rain chances some. Last time we had a thick plume of dust in here, we had thunderstorms with it. So it's not a guaranteed we're going to lower the rain chance. At least we may lower it a little bit. But rain chances will stay with us each day for the next 7, at least a chance each afternoon. Looking at downtown this evening, it is 6:35 on a Tuesday night in Houston. Gulf Freeway's moving. Everything's been cleaned up by the rain and thunder we had earlier in downtown, but the rain looks like it's come to an end. Now, Bush Intercontinental Airport is reporting light rain, 78 degrees, and a southwest breeze at 9 miles an hour. Galveston had partly cloudy to mostly sunny skies all day until this evening when thunderstorms have finally rolled in. Folks on Seawell Boulevard are getting a little bit wet right now. Galveston, you were in the low 90s. Now you're in the 70s with rain-cooled air. Hobby 74, Bush 78, Sugarland 75, Conroe 79, Pearland is 74. And if you're south of Houston right now, you're getting rained on. Although I do want to make this clear, this area of rain that's red from Sugarland to Angleton down to Matagorda Bay, this is not heavy rain. This is light rain, but sometimes it shows up like that on our radar. This is light to moderate drizzle across most of Brazoria County west of 288. It's these individual storms that have lightning and thunder with them that are lit up in red. Those are producing heavy rain over Galveston Bay and moving into Chambers County. Smith Point getting a thunderstorm. Mont Bellevue, you guys are getting a thunderstorm as one just moved through Baytown. And the Bolivar Peninsula getting scattered showers and thunder showers. Now, outlined in green is a flood advisory for isolated street flooding. Bel Air, Bissonnette, we had some high water early. We've got more high water spots in places from Pearland to Friendswood to Alvin to Angleton. And so until 7 o'clock within the green box, which includes half of Harris County and most of Brazoria County, watch for some high water spots that are in the process of draining off now. As I mentioned, most of this is now very light rain. This is where the heaviest rain is right now. Smith Point across Galveston Bay, moving up the Bolivar Peninsula. Hello, Smith Point. There's your rain and thunder shower coming across the area right now. Down to Galveston, had a couple of thunderstorms coming up through Jamaica Beach. Those are now pushed offshore. Showers just pushing off the far east end of Galveston Island right now. And then back into Harris County, downtown, it's light rain and drizzle, Bunker Hill around to Scott Street on the south side, and then out I-10 east to Cloverleaf. That is a strong thunderstorm over Mont Bellevue. Good evening, Mont Bellevue. That's heavy rain right there for you. It's drifting north toward Moss Bluff. And then I see rain up and down Highway 90, Barrett out to the 99 connector and Highway 146. Computer models settle all this down as we head into 8:30. And then overnight tonight, things are expected to stay quite quiet, just humid, mostly cloudy summer night. Here's the thing. There's just a ton of tropical moisture sitting in place, and overhead we have a little upper level low. So once we get some heat building, we'll get rain and thunder showers beginning to blossom. This will happen as we head toward noon tomorrow. By noon, we're getting these isolated thunder showers popping up. Most of them begin in the coastal counties and near the bay and then drift inland. And so as I put this in motion, everything moving inland, and it will be widespread rain and thunder showers with some heavy tropical downpours here and there, enough to cause at least some street ponding and street flooding tomorrow in isolated spots. So that's the threat tomorrow, is isolated street flooding, which can make a real pain of your commute if you get caught in it. Here are the Wednesday numbers. Morning low near 80, humid, sticky morning. And then a 50-50 chance for scattered thunder showers by noon. We'll go into at least an 80% chance for rain and thunder tomorrow afternoon. High temp comes midday toward at 90 by lunchtime. Then we'll drop into the 70s and 80s as the rain and thunder give us the fringe benefit of rain-cooled air. Here's the extended, at least a 20 to 30% rain chance on Thursday and Friday. I may have to bump these numbers up a little bit. But just bottom line, even though there's a lower rain chance Thursday, Friday, those storms that pop up in this humid atmosphere could dump some heavy tropical downpours. Saturday and Sunday will be wet at times with a 50-50 chance for scattered thunderstorms both days of the coming weekend, and we'll keep a rain chance going each afternoon for the next 7 days. That's where we stand on this cloudy, drizzly, stormy Tuesday evening. Have a good evening, everybody.